Hey everybody, welcome to another minute where proof is possible. I'm Corbett Lunsford with the Building Performance Workshop. This is a weekly shout out to my fall fast track students who are the black belts of the home performance industry. This week we're talking about business practices, specifically to do with the Rockstar recipe. I'd like to have a question addressed here, which was actually addressed to me this week, and this is a question I get all the time, and so do you. And it's important to know how to answer this question. So the question is, I know it can vary, but how much more will it cost me to build a high-performance home? And this can go for anything. How much more will it cost me to get an air conditioner installed to high-performance standards? How much more will it cost me to have my ductwork sealed properly? How much more will it cost me? And on and on and on, right? Now, this question is deeply, deeply flawed for one very important reason. It assumes that it will, in fact, cost you more to do something the right way. Someone was telling me about shoes the other day, and they said that a smart person will pay $100 for a pair of shoes, and they will last for years. And the person who is just trying to get by, who's not really thinking clearly, will pay $10 for a pair of shoes, but they'll end up buying 20 pairs of shoes over that same amount of time. So they will spend actually twice as much money as the person who bought a good pair of shoes the first time out. So there's the one thing. The second thing is that we need to actually take all of the different factors in this equation into account. First thing is that we need to take into account all the benefits that come from a high-performance home. And when we say high performance, by the way, I'm not talking about something that's certified to any particular standard. I'm talking about something that is measurably proven to perform to some quality standard. Generally, you're going to be dealing with a certification like Energy Star or NAHB Green or whatever it is. And I don't want to say these standards are good ones. You can go really extreme and go Passive House, for example. That doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to be exactly what you need, because your family is going to behave in a certain way towards your house. That being said, the pros that are involved with this, let's just go through them. First of all, your house becomes more durable. Secondly, your house becomes more comfortable. Thirdly, your house has better air quality. Now, all of those things are actually incredibly hard to quantify. What we generally end up quantifying is energy efficiency. Energy efficiency is the only thing that everyone can really easily quantify about performance. So it gets top billing ridiculously wrongly, in my opinion. It is not the top act in this show. The top act in the show is the fact that you have a better life because of what is going on. So since we can't quantify all those things, just imagine, if you will, how much more durable your house is if it is built properly, meaning it has the proper flashing on all the windows. It has the right ice and rain shield on the roof. It does not have air leakage in the attic, which leads to ice dams, which can happen in lots and lots of different climates, which lead to wall destruction, and so on and so forth, right? You have the basement is air sealed properly, and so you don't have bugs. How many things can we come up with? Comfort. How many times are we frustrated? And I'm a married man. My job is to make my wife happy. So every time she is unhappy about how uncomfortable it is in the back room or in the mudroom or the laundry room or wherever it is, I pay for that. So is my psychic currency worth having it done right the first time, right? So we can go on down the list with all the pros. The second thing that we need to take into account is the cons that come from not doing this properly. And this is where we really get into trouble, because contrary to what you may believe, people who run building companies and contractor companies are often not fantastic business people. And I'm not talking about them as people. Personally, they're great. I have lots and lots of people that I work with and that I train with who are fantastic people, but we do not come from business backgrounds. I think that almost universally, people that you'll find in the business or in the building industry don't have business degrees. That means that we are not good at accounting. Accounting being the one thing that is the most onerous and horrible part of any business person's job. Nobody likes to keep the books. So what we end up not doing is accounting for all of the times that we put a guy who works for us in a truck and have him drive out to the site that we just left. We got paid, And now we start giving our money back to that client by sending people out to try and fix problems that are going on there. None of those visits will get accounted for in what we did for that job. They get thrown into this heap of, this is just stuff we had to deal with. It was a pain in the butt. Secondly, warranty claims. Thirdly, liability issues that have to do with insurance. Fourthly, and most terribly, lawsuits. And underneath all of that, this kind of current of client satisfaction that leads to either referrals that lead to further business or that leads to complaints that leads to a degradation of our overall business. So the fact that we are not accounting for any of the pros that come from this, aside from energy efficiency, which we already agreed is not the number one act in this show, and the fact that we're not accounting for any of the cons that come from not doing it, means that this question is completely ridiculous. The answer to the question is, it does not cost you anything more. The answer to the question is, it saves you money in the long run. Now, a lot of people will say, in response to that, well, but my clients aren't willing to pay for this. They want the lowest bidder. They want the cheap job. Okay, that's perfectly fine. There are always going to be clients like that out there. There are always homeowners who are looking for the absolute cheapest way to fix any given problem in their home, or to build a 5,000 square foot house for $100,000. My answer to you, who is having a problem with these people, is those are not clients that you want. Run away from those people. Those people will find the cheapest person who is going to do a terrible job for them, and they'll have to redo it again and again to the point where they buy 20 pairs of shoes in 2 years when they could have bought one pair of shoes for half the price. Those are not people that we want to be doing business with, period. You just avoid them. So there's your simple answer for a very simple question that actually seems very complicated, and then when you get into it, oh, wow, this is actually really easy. So I hope that this has been illuminating for you. Please tune in the next couple of Wednesdays as I continue talking to my Fall Fast Track Black Belt students. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Corbett Lunsford. Tune in next time.